Ladies and gentlemen, before we begin, I want to warn you what you are about to hear may disturb your comfort, but it will awaken your potential. Most people fail, not because they are destined to fail, but because they quietly choose failure over time, not with one decision, but with thousands of small daily choices that compound into regret. People don't fail in a day. They fail a little every morning when the alarm rings and they hit snooze. They fail a little every evening when they choose distraction over discipline. They fail a little every time they say tomorrow when they had today in their hands. And yet, a small percentage of people win, not because life gives them special gifts, but because they decide to live differently while others sleep. Stay with me until the end, because I will show you the difference between those who merely dream and those who win. If you stay, you might recognize yourself and, more importantly, the person you're capable of becoming. Let's begin. Most people fail because they want the outcome without embracing the process. They want wealth without work, confidence without consistency, success without sacrifice. They wish for results and wonder why wishing doesn't work. Winning begins the day you stop believing in luck and start believing in responsibility. The day you stop asking, why is life hard, and start asking, what can I do with the life I have? Failure whispers, you can start later. Winning shouts, start now. Failure waits for motivation. Winning builds discipline. Discipline is the bridge between where you stand and where you want to go. Most people fail because they avoid pain. Winners succeed because they choose the right pain, the pain of discipline over the pain of regret. It's not easy to demand more from yourself. But remember, this easy choice is hard life. Hard choices, easy life. And if you want to win, you must choose the discomfort of growth over the comfort of excuses. Most people quit when their effort is not instantly rewarded. Winners understand that delayed results are not denied results. Plant the seed, water it, protect it, and don't dig it up every morning to see if it's growing. Success doesn't respond to how badly you want it. Success responds to how consistently you work for it. Every day you write a sentence in the story of your life. If you want a different ending, start writing differently today. Not next month, today. Winning is not something you get occasionally. Winning is something you become gradually, brick by brick, habit by habit, hour by hour. And when you feel like giving up, remember this, your future self is watching. Will they thank you or resent you? Ladies and gentlemen, most people fail because they never fully start. You will win the day you decide that your life is worth more than your excuses. Most people wake up every morning believing that life simply happens to them. They assume that circumstances shape their future, that luck determines their success, that someone out there is holding the keys to their destiny. And without ever realizing it, they hand over the pen that writes their story. They drift through life like a boat without a captain, surprised every year that they end up somewhere they never wanted to be. But here is the truth. A truth many never learn: failure doesn't require effort. It requires nothing at all. Failure is automatic, natural, the default setting of life. If you wake up and make no decisions, you slowly move backward. If you set no standards, life hands you a low one. If you let the days pass without intention, life quietly chooses for you, and the results are rarely what you want. Success, on the other hand, is not accidental. Success is a deliberate state of living. It begins the very moment you take responsibility for where you are and where you're going. The moment you look in the mirror and say, whatever happens next starts with me. Most people don't fail because they are weak or unintelligent. They fail because they never decide to win. They never draw a line in the sand and say, from this day forward, I will not be the average version of myself. They allow life to negotiate down their potential. Think of it this way: the day you are born, the world is ready to shape you into what it needs. School tries to shape you, society tries to shape you, old habits try to shape you, and your fears try to shape you. If you don't step in and take the wheel, something else will, and it usually doesn't drive toward your dreams. To win, you must interrupt the default. You must say, enough. Enough drifting. Enough waiting. Enough hoping someday magically brings change. A decision is powerful because it's a commitment rooted in clarity. Not a wish, not a desire, not a half-hearted intention. A decision is a promise you make to yourself about the person you are becoming. The world is full of dreamers. People dream of wealth, good health, love, respect, confidence, success. But dreams without decisions become memories of what could have been. The universe does not respond to dreams. It responds to decisions followed by action. Decisions are the foundation of discipline. And discipline is the bridge to destiny. Let's imagine two people standing side by side. Both want to be healthier. One says, I hope I get fit. The other says, from this day forward, I train 4 times a week no matter how I feel. Which one decided? The first expressed a wish: soft, comfortable, forgettable. The second made a decision: clear, specific, actionable. Life bends to those who decide, not because life suddenly becomes easy, but because once a decision is made, excuses lose their audience. Most people fail because they let temporary feelings decide permanent outcomes. They let a bad mood dictate their productivity, a tired morning dictate their progress, A small setback dictates their persistence. But winners are guided by decisions, not feelings. A winner may feel unmotivated, uninspired, tired, disappointed, but the decision stands. They show up anyway. They do the work. They keep the promise. And every day they keep that promise. They earn a little more confidence. Confidence not built on compliments or motivation, but on proof. Proof that they can trust themselves. If you cannot trust yourself to carry out your decisions, you'll eventually stop deciding altogether and drift back into default. That is the silent tragedy of the average life. People lose faith not in the world, but in themselves. So how do you reverse it? How do you step into the arena of winners? You start with one meaningful decision. You say, this area of my life changes now, not tomorrow, not when motivation strikes, not when conditions are perfect. Now, because a decision made today starts changing you today. A decision made later is a seed left in the packet. It never grows, never bears fruit. Once you decide, commit to behaviors that align with that decision. If you decide to be disciplined, you act disciplined. If you decide to pursue success, you chase the actions that create success. If you decide to become valuable, you invest in your skills, your habits, your education. And understand this, your life will rise or fall to the level of the decisions you practice daily. Not the big dramatic ones once a year, but the small invisible ones every sunrise. Wake up or snooze, read or scroll, practice or procrastinate, give effort or give excuses. Success is built in the quiet, private choices that no one sees. Because when you win those choices, you win yourself. And when you win yourself, you win life. So remember, people fail by default. They win by decision. The day you decide that your dreams are worth discomfort, that your future is worth discipline, that your potential deserves your commitment, that is the day winning begins. And if you stay consistent, you'll discover something powerful. The world bends not to those who wait, but to those who decide. If failure were loud, dramatic, and obvious, more people would avoid it. If regret screamed at us early, we would change sooner. But failure doesn't crash into your life like a storm. It slips in quietly, like dust collecting in the corners you stop paying attention to. One missed day becomes two. One excuse becomes a habit. And before you know it, you wake up years later realizing the small choices you ignored have shaped a life you never planned to live. Failure is not a moment, it's a pattern. People don't lose their dreams overnight. They lose them minute by postponing effort, pushing aside responsibility, and letting urgency replace importance. Think about it. Nobody gains 100 extra pounds in 1 month. Nobody goes bankrupt in a day. No marriage breaks in a single argument. These things happen slowly, quietly, while excuses work harder than discipline. Life doesn't punish you immediately for slacking off, and that's where the danger hides, so the punishment is delayed. But so is the reward. You skip reading today and nothing collapses. You skip the gym for a week and your body doesn't scream. You stop learning, stop practicing, stop growing, and the world remains silent. But that silence is deceptive because life is always keeping score even when you aren't. Now let's flip the coin. Success doesn't arrive in one grand moment either. Success is constructed, not granted. It is steady, intentional, and persistent, built through invisible effort that compounds over time. You practice your craft, you sharpen your mind, you choose discipline over distraction again and again. And for a while, nothing seems to change. You wonder if it's working. You wonder if effort matters. You wonder if you're walking in circles. That's the part where most people quit, not because success is impossible, but because results are invisible at first. They plant the seed, but don't water it long enough to see growth. They start the journey, but don't walk far enough to reach the view. They want the applause, but don't practice when no one is watching. But winners know this truth. Progress hides before it shines. Every repetition you do, every disciplined choice you make, every page you read, these things don't shout at first. They whisper. And if you listen closely, those whispers will guide you. Let's consider an example. Imagine someone learning a new skill. In the beginning, they stumble, they struggle, they feel awkward, slow, uncertain. At that stage, most people quit because they mistake discomfort for failure. But the winner keeps going, not because they see results yet, because they trust the process more than their temporary feelings. Slowly, almost unnoticeably, something begins to change. The movements become natural. The skill becomes intuitive. The mind becomes sharper. And after months of steady effort, the world calls them talented, forgetting that talent was constructed through consistency. Success is rarely the result of dramatic bursts. It's the outcome of daily habits repeated long enough to become identity. Let's break down the truth even further. Failure compounds quietly through small choices you avoid questioning. A skipped workout here, a postponed plan there, a forgotten goal later, and slowly your potential becomes buried under the weight of inaction. Success compounds quietly through small choices you commit to without applause. A book read here, a skill practiced there, a habit repeated daily, and slowly your character becomes strong enough to carry your dreams. The difference is intention. You don't accidentally learn piano. You don't accidentally become confident. You don't accidentally build a business, become healthy, or inspire others. You choose the path and then you walk it step by step, day by day. And here is the beautiful paradox of life. At first, failure feels comfortable and success feels painful. But with time, the roles reverse. Success becomes comfortable and failure becomes painful. In the beginning, discipline hurts more than excuses. Effort feels heavier than laziness. Growth feels scarier than staying the same. But with time, discipline builds confidence. Effort builds strength. Growth builds purpose, and excuses, they leave nothing but regret. Here's what you must remember. Both failure and success take time, so you might as well spend time building what you want instead of drifting into what you don't. If you want success, don't chase intensity, chase consistency. It is better to practice 1 hour every day for a year than to push 10 hours in a week and quit. Small progress multiplied by time becomes unstoppable. Whatever dream you carry, whatever life you imagine, know this: you only lose when you stop showing up. Your consistency is the signal that tells life you are serious. So take one more step, read one more page, practice one more hour, wake up one more day with purpose. Because success is not hiding from you, it's waiting for you to keep going long enough to reach it. Every day life presents you with two guides, your feelings and your discipline. One is emotional, temporary, reactive, easily swayed by mood, weather, comfort, and opinion. The other is steady, grounded, reliable, fueled by commitment, clarity, and purpose. Most people don't realize this. If your feelings lead your life, your future becomes unpredictable. But if discipline leads your life, your future becomes intentional. Let's start with the human truth. Feelings are not the enemy. They're just not a trustworthy leader. Feelings are like the wind, gentle one day, fierce the next, and absent the day after. If your success depends on how you feel, you'll work hard only when the wind is at your back. And on days when the wind blows against you, you won't move at all. Most people wake up and decide what to do based on how they feel. I don't feel like studying. I don't feel like working out. Don't feel motivated. I don't feel inspired today. They treat their goals like a hobby, something that fits around their emotions, instead of something their emotions must adapt to. And then they wonder why life doesn't change. Winners operate differently. Winners say, I don't feel like doing it, but I will do it anyway. I'm tired, but I show up. I'm discouraged, but I keep going. I don't see results yet, but I trust the process. That tiny phrase, but I will do it anyway, is the separation line between the average and the exceptional. Remember this: motivation is a spark. Discipline is sustained fire. Motivation starts the journey. Discipline keeps you walking long after the excitement fades. Feelings are short-term, discipline is long-term. If you let feelings drive, you'll change direction every time the road gets steep. If you let discipline drive, you reach destinations feelings could never carry you to. Let's explore why discipline matters so much. Your feelings want comfort, your discipline wants progress. Your feelings want now, your discipline wants later. Your feelings want pleasure, your discipline wants growth. Comfort and growth rarely live in the same room. To enter the room of growth, you must first walk through the door of discomfort, the place where feelings panic and discipline becomes your guide. Consider the person who only trains when motivated. They'll stop the moment the soreness arrives. But the disciplined person sees the soreness and says, this is evidence of growth, not a reason to quit. Consider the person who only studies when it's interesting. They'll give up when the subject feels difficult. But the disciplined person says, difficulty is the doorway to mastery. I will walk through it. Consider the person who only works on their dream when they feel inspired. Their progress will be seasonal, flourishing 1 month, lifeless the next. But the disciplined person understands inspiration visits those who are already working. Feelings ask you, do I feel like it? Discipline answers, it doesn't matter. I committed. That commitment, repeated consistently, builds something priceless. Self-respect. You begin trusting yourself because you see yourself act beyond emotion. You become someone who can count on yourself, and that confidence cannot be purchased, borrowed, or inherited. It must be earned through repetition. Here's a powerful realization. The people you admire are not more motivated than you. They are more disciplined than you. They feel the same resistance, the same laziness, the same doubt, but they move anyway. Most people wait for the right feeling before they take action. Winners take action and watch as feelings catch up later. Action creates emotion, not the other way around. Think of it like this. You don't wait to feel warm before lighting a fire. You light the fire and then warmth arrives. Discipline lights the fire. Feelings arrive after. If you want to transform your life, practice this pattern. Do it when you feel like it. Do it when you don't. Do until feeling no longer matters. Over time, something incredible happens. Discipline becomes identity. You no longer force yourself. You expect yourself to show up because that's who you are now. And this identity shift is the real reward. Success isn't just what you get. It's who you become. When discipline leads your life, your actions outgrow your excuses. Your habits outgrow your doubts. Your consistency outgrows your comfort. Your progress outgrows your fears. And one day you'll look back and realize, I didn't win because I always felt like winning. I won because I acted even when I didn't. Let me leave you with this closing reminder. Your feelings are allowed to visit, but discipline holds the keys to your house. Let your feelings inform you, but never let them lead you. Let discipline drive, and your future will follow. Every dream begins with a picture of the reward, the lifestyle, the respect, the freedom, the achievement. That picture is powerful. It ignites desire, sparks imagination, and gives us a reason to start. But here's the truth most people never learn. The dream you see is built by habits you don't. Most people chase the result, the reward, the moment of glory where everything finally makes sense. But winners chase the routine, the repetition, the daily actions that others ignore because they look too small, too slow, or too boring to matter. You see, the world applauds the reward, trophies, promotions, followers, wealth, but the world rarely notices the routine that created it. People admire the successful and say, I want what they have, but seldom say, I want to live how they live. Everyone wants the reward, but few want the routine required to earn it. Let's be clear, rewards are exciting, routines are not. Rewards are visible, routines are invisible. Rewards are celebrated, routines are repeated. But routines are where transformation hides. Think of a tree. You admire the branches, the height, the shade, you admire what you can see. But the strength of a tree comes from what you can't see, the roots anchored deep beneath the soil. Routines are those roots quietly growing, quietly strengthening, quietly preparing you for the weight of success. If you want a strong life, stop watering the leaves and start nourishing the roots. Many people make the mistake of chasing rewards directly. They want to be healthy, but they chase the image of fitness instead of the habit of exercise. They want wealth, but they chase shortcuts instead of the habit of saving and creating value. They want confidence, but they chase recognition instead of the habit of self-respect. They want success, but they chase motivation instead of the habit of discipline. Rewards without routines are illusions, dreams that stay dreams. Let me give you a simple truth. You don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your routines. Because when pressure comes, and it always comes, your routines will carry you farther than excitement ever could. Excitement is the spark, routine is the engine, and the engine must run long after the spark fades. Consider someone with a New Year's resolution. They feel inspired, energized, ready. They set big goals. Day 1, full effort. Day 2, decent effort. Day 3, less effort. Day 4, excuses. Day 5, silence. What happened? They chased the reward. They forgot the routine. They expected change because they wanted change, not because they built the habits that create change. Now imagine someone different, someone who starts small, 10 push-ups a day, 1 chapter a day, 15 minutes of practice, waking up 15 minutes earlier, writing a page a day, saving $5. They don't seek applause. They don't announce their plan. They simply show up every day long enough that showing up becomes who they are. They don't chase the reward. They chase the routine, and the reward arrives quietly as a consequence. Why does this work? Because routines shape identity, identity shapes habits, habits shape results, and results shape destiny. People fail because they worship the outcomes and ignore the process. Winners succeed because they respect the process until the process creates the outcome. Let me tell you something important. The routine is where the reward is built long before the world sees it. People clap when you win, but the real victory happened years before in silence, in early mornings when no one was watching, in late nights when others were sleeping, in repetitions that were unseen and unappreciated. The world loves the reward, but the mirror recognizes the routine. And that's why discipline feels like freedom to those who truly practice it, because they earn the right to trust themselves. Here's the secret most people missed. If you fall in love with the routine, the reward eventually becomes inevitable. But if you only fall in love with the reward, you'll quit the moment the routine feels difficult. And yes, the routine will feel difficult. Monotony will test your patience. Consistency will test your commitment. Repetition will test your focus. You'll question yourself. You'll compete with your own mind. And that battle, the private internal battle, is precisely where champions are born. Let me leave you with this: success is not a surprise. It is a scheduled event. It arrives at the intersection of consistency and time. So the next time you feel impatient and say, why isn't the reward here yet? Ask instead, have I truly mastered the routine that earns it? Because in the end, rewards are temporary. Routines are transformational. Rewards change your situation, but routines change you. And when you change, everything else eventually follows. Most people spend their lives guarding their comfort as if comfort were treasure. They defend it, preserve it, justify it, and build routines around it, not realizing that comfort is often the slowest form of self-destruction. Comfort feels safe, gentle, familiar, but it quietly steals your potential inch by inch without resistance or alarm. You don't notice the theft until purpose wakes you up, and by then, years may have passed. Comfort asks one question: what feels good right now? Purpose asks a different question: what will matter when this day becomes a memory? Winners understand this distinction. They know comfort can give temporary pleasure, but only purpose can give lasting fulfillment. So they make a conscious choice to protect purpose, not comfort, because what you protect reveals what you truly value. Let's look closer. Comfort is the soft pillow that makes you hit snooze. Purpose is the voice that whispers, get up, you're building something. Comfort is binge watching another show to avoid thinking. Purpose is learning, practicing, writing, preparing, so your future self doesn't have to live with regret. Comfort is staying silent when you should speak. Purpose is saying what needs to be said even when your voice shakes. Comfort is staying where you are. Purpose is becoming who you're meant to be. The path of comfort is smooth at the start, but rough at the end. The path of purpose is rough at the start, but smooth at the end. Most people choose the smooth beginning, not realizing they're also choosing the rough ending. Winners choose the rough beginning because they know they are choosing wisdom, growth, and impact at the end. Understand this clearly. Comfort gives relief. Purpose gives transformation, and transformation demands sacrifice, time, energy, ego, excuses, and sometimes even relationships that no longer support your direction. Comfort protects who you are today. Purpose protects who you will become. And here's where life becomes interesting. The world will try to convince you that comfort is happiness. Take it easy. They say, you deserve a break. Don't push so hard. Relax, you have time. But winners know the truth. Relaxation without progress becomes regret. They rest to refuel, not to escape. They take breaks, not detours. They pause to reflect, not to hide. Purpose is demanding. It requires the version of you that comfort would never create. That's why so many avoid it. Purpose asks for courage. Courage to do what others won't. Courage to say no to distractions, no to excuses, no to temporary pleasures that weaken long-term potential. Protecting purpose means choosing growth over ease again and again until it becomes your nature. Let's talk about pain, because purpose is not free of it. Comfort shields you from discomfort today, but guarantees deeper pain tomorrow. The pain of regret, stagnation, unfulfilled potential, missed opportunities, wasted time. Purpose gives pain today, the pain of effort, discipline, inconvenience, but protects you from regret tomorrow. Do not fear the pain that builds you. Fear the comfort that destroys you slowly. Most people run from difficulty. Winners run toward the meaningful difficult because they understand that comfort and greatness rarely shake hands. Protecting purpose also means accepting that not everyone will understand you. People will question your choices. Why are you working so hard? Why do you push yourself? Why don't you just relax? And you must be strong enough to answer silently with your actions, because my future deserves the effort my present self can give. One day, the same people who questioned your discipline will admire your results, but those results won't surprise you because you protected purpose long enough for purpose to protect you. Purpose becomes your backbone. It holds you steady when pressure rises. It keeps you grounded when life shakes you. It reminds you who you are when comfort tries to make you forget. Here is the beautiful irony of life. If you protect comfort, comfort eventually abandons you. Because comfort fades, your body weakens, your mind dulls, your spirit shrinks. But if you protect purpose, purpose eventually protects you. It protects your confidence, your strength, your influence, your impact, your legacy. Ask yourself this: will your future thank you for the comfort you protected or for the purpose you pursued? Because in the final chapters of your life, comfort won't sit beside you. Comfort won't applaud you. Comfort won't give you meaning. But purpose will, if you protect it long enough. So make your choice with clarity. Do you want temporary comfort, or do you want a life that matters? Because the truth is simple. Comfort is the enemy of identity. Purpose is the architect of destiny. Winners don't live comfortable lives. They live meaningful ones. There is a line that separates the ordinary from the extraordinary. A line so thin most people never even realize they've reached it. It appears the moment life becomes uncomfortable. When the task gets harder than expected, when progress slows down, when motivation fades, when effort stops feeling exciting and starts feeling heavy, most people reach that line and turn back. They interpret discomfort as a sign to stop, when in truth, discomfort is the doorway to everything they want. You must understand this deeply. Failure and success do not live in different places. They live on different sides of the same line. The side before discomfort is where most people quit. The side beyond discomfort is where winners are made. Pain is not the enemy. Pain is the signal that growth is happening. Discomfort is not danger. Discomfort is evidence that you're stretching into a new version of yourself. The world has taught many to fear discomfort. School teaches comfort through easy structure. Society teaches comfort through shortcuts. Entertainment teaches comfort through constant escape. But purpose, mastery, and success, they teach through discomfort. Think of the moments that shaped you most. Chances are they weren't easy. They weren't painless. They weren't comfortable. They forced you to grow, forced you to choose courage, forced you to become someone new. Comfort keeps you where you are. Discomfort moves you toward where you could be. The truth is simple. Failure stops at discomfort. Winning starts at discomfort. Quitting is comfortable, and that is why so many choose it. Persevering is uncomfortable, and that is why so few master it. Let's break down what discomfort really means. Discomfort is the weight that builds strength. Anyone can lift a weight that feels light, but strength is built by lifting what challenges you. Your mind is no different. Your discipline is no different. Your character is no different. Without resistance, there is no growth. Discomfort is the silence before results. Winners move through stretches of time where nothing seems to happen. No applause, no recognition, no big breakthroughs, just effort, discipline, and patience. Most people can't handle that silence. They mistake the absence of results for the absence of progress, and they walk away just before the tide was ready to turn. Discomfort is the test of identity. When life gets difficult, one question rises: who are you when ease disappears? Your answer to that question defines whether you quit or continue. Winners don't let discomfort erase their identity. They let discomfort reveal it. Most people believe they lack motivation, but what they actually lack is tolerance for discomfort. If you only move when life feels good, you'll move less and less as life increases its demands. Let me tell you something powerful. Every dream you have lives on the other side of the discomfort you avoid. You can't shortcut past that. You can't bypass it. You must walk through it. Discomfort is the initiation ceremony of success, proof that you want the reward enough to withstand the process. Winners learn to reinterpret discomfort. Instead of "this hurts," they think "this is working." Instead of "this is hard," they think "I am getting stronger." Instead of "maybe this isn't for me," they think "this is exactly why it's for me." And here's the transformation. The more you walk through discomfort, the less discomfort controls you. You become resilient not because life gets easier, but because you get harder to break. Understand this: discomfort is temporary. Regret is permanent. Pain fades. Memories of quitting don't. Effort tires the body, but quitting weakens the spirit. Failure quits when the road becomes a pill, but winning is precisely the act of climbing uphill despite the strain. Think of it like mining for gold. You dig and dig and dig for weeks, months, sometimes years, and eventually you strike gold. But imagine quitting the day before. Imagine walking away when the discomfort became unbearable, never knowing that one more swing could have changed your life. That is how most people fail, not because they couldn't succeed, but because they stopped too soon. You must decide that discomfort will not be the end of your story, but the beginning of your transformation. Here's the truth you must carry: the gym becomes easier after the soreness. Reading becomes easier after the boredom. Discipline becomes easier after the resistance. Growth becomes easier after the struggle. Confidence becomes easier after the fear. Before that, everything feels like a storm. After that, everything feels like progress. Winning doesn't belong to those who never feel discomfort. It belongs to those who move forward in spite of it. So when discomfort appears, smile. It means you've reached the line where most people stop. And if you choose to continue, you enter the territory most people never reach. Let discomfort be your signal, not to quit, but to keep going. Because failure ends at discomfort, but winning begins there.